There's a museum or memorial for just about everything in Washington, D.C., but not every important site in our nation's capital is in the tour books, and not all of them are easy to find.
Julian is in Washington and shares how one app is leading tourists to landmarks that may mean more, even if they're not advertised.
D.C. is home to monuments marking the nation's history. Do a Google search for Native American landmarks, however, and the National Museum of the American Indian is probably the only thing that comes up. But a closer look shows the capital is home to many monuments with Native ties, from the Iwo Jima Memorial to Congressional Cemetery to more than a dozen others. How can a casual visitor find them all? There's now an app for that, of course.
Working on this app, learning more about the history of Indigenous peoples in the D.C. area has been an honor to work on this project.
Rule was talking about Indigenous DC, an app developed by a group at the AT&T Center for Indigenous Politics and Policy at George Washington University. The app unveiled this summer raises awareness about 17 lesser-known sites around D.C. While the Iwo Jima Memorial is famous, it's not clear at first glance that one of the Marines raising the flag is Ira Hayes, a Pima Indian from Arizona, and less obvious sites like Congressional Cemetery. Through the app, the user can learn or visit places like the Liberty and Freedom Lummi Totem Poles located in Washington, D.C. The poles were created after the 9/11 terrorist attack to help the nation heal. Indigenous D.C. was selected from 7 proposals aimed at telling Indigenous history.
We offered projects that raised awareness of Native students, their vibrancy, their essential role within higher education, and George Washington's Indigenous Guide to D.C. was one of those.
KITE, a tourist from Georgia who was visiting the National Museum of the American Indian recently, thinks the app would be handy for visitors like her.
You could definitely explore more, and it would save you time in just Googling to try to find information. That would be very helpful.
While the app is focused on D.C., Bledsoe said he hopes it can be used in schools nationwide.
We see that as a way that we'll continue to invest in how Natives are seen in this space.
At Iwo Jima Memorial, Julian, Cronkite News.